Do you want to tell the fans just a little bit about yourself, Ferdous?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Ferdous. I'm based in the Netherlands. Yeah, I've been making music for ages now. I'm currently working on my uh, artist project. It's like pretty new. I only started this about 2 years ago. And yeah, I produce, write, record all my own stuff, like in my bedroom or like in the studio. Yeah, I'm currently gearing up towards my first mixtape release. So it's going to be my first like full length project, basically. Up until now, I've released like two EPs and a couple singles in between. And now this month on the 24th of February, like I'm releasing my first mixtape. So yeah, I'm like super excited for that. And yeah, it's already really soon. It's like in 2 weeks. So
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. I've been following you for a while. I've been a fan a little bit, but I'm excited to have this opportunity to interview you.
thank
So I'll touch on a lot of that stuff actually. I have a good set of questions here up for you. To start off, you have a great deal of passion for music, making music, just being around music in general. I was interested, like, what started that interest in music for you?
I think it started at a really young age when I was just growing up, because mostly my family has always been like huge music lovers. My father and my two older brothers, like they've always introduced me to all kinds of music. But when I was like really, really small, like I think my love for music was kind of triggered because of Bollywood movies that we used to watch in our family, and yeah, I think that already like uh made me interested a lot in like harmonies and melodies and stuff. Like I just sometimes started to obsess with some songs that I would see in those Bollywood movies. And then when like middle school and stuff, my brothers were always like really searching around for like new music. And it's funny because I actually live in the Netherlands, but my brothers were always on the lookout for all kinds of music based in the US, like mostly like on blogs, just kind of obscure R&B and hip hop mixtapes. And it was, yeah, uh, I think my family had like a pretty big part in, me starting to love and becoming interested more and more in music in general and stuff. But yeah, so I guess from there on, like I started playing around with like trying out with beats and just creating my own stuff, just purely out of fun. And yeah, I think from there on, like all sorts of shit happened that just, got my full attention into music, basically.
Yeah, so in an interview with 1883 magazine, I did some research and you said that one of your biggest inspirations was NERD, a hip hop band with Nick Cannon. Um, so I was curious because you've kind of started to make your own sound. You're breaking away from the traditional heartbeats of hip hop, and the deep wrenching soul that's found in soul music. Did you create your own sound? Are you looking to create your own sound, or did it just kind of come up on its own? Because the way I put it is like you have a pretty good like euphoric set of sound that you've made yourself, and I haven't found in any other artist. So I was pretty interested in that.
Thanks. Like, first of all, appreciate it, but I think it's definitely rooted in like when I just started with making beats just purely for fun, just having as much fun as possible, just trying to because I was just basically just bored when I was a kid. And then I guess from that boredom, I was just trying to F around as much as possible with like all kinds of sounds, just not even trying to focus on consistency or like trying to find a sound of my own or something, but just purely just messing around. And then I've never been able to let go from that childhood kind of approach with making music, just by with messing around with every single button and stuff that I find in the those like I started with FL Studio when I was a kid, and then I switched over to Reason. And then in Reason, like you can create all kinds of synth sounds that I find pretty hard to replicate with like actual synths, like so that's kind of funny. I think that sound of within Reason has always been a bit weird, and like I think uh, yeah, just uh, it's kind of like a weird sound that I've always stuck to. And then yeah, so um, I I think that's the reason why I try now to focus on looking for sounds that I don't find as quickly when I'm listening to like other types of music.
Mm.
And yeah, I guess that's yeah. I think I I can make it more uh, make more sense than that. I think.
Yeah, no, I think that was I think that was explained pretty well. Um, Yeah, I mean, you have really made your own sound and you're gaining in popularity without even a full album being made yet. And I feel like you're on the cusp of blowing up. Do you feel like you're gaining that popularity? Do you feel the like success starting to brew and are more opportunities opening up for you?
Um, so I think when I like check stats on Spotify or like on Instagram and stuff, like I do see that there are more listeners now than when compared to when I just started out like 2 years ago. And I think like all of that went pretty crazy. Like I didn't expect so many people to be interested like in the stuff that I was making. Because before this project, I used to do a duo project with called Klein. And with that project, I think that kind of opened my doors into like music in general, like the music industry and stuff. And that's when I started to be able to make a living out of music and stuff. But then with this new project, like I started that during the pandemic, and there was nothing going on like gig wise that and I wasn't really able to try and promote my own stuff with doing shows where whether it was in my own country in the Netherlands, but let alone in like any other country. So it was all like online focused, and I was also just myself fully focused on online, just trying to spread my music around like on Instagram or YouTube and stuff, and just and it's like really sick to see that yeah, like more and more people are starting to pay attention to it and stuff, and that really I guess in a way that definitely feels satisfying because I just want to reach as many people as possible. And it will always be like a really crazy thing to me being based here in the Netherlands, where for me I don't really feel part of like any big wide music community, and I've always felt pretty isolated way before the pandemic even started and stuff. So uh and yeah, it's like really cool to see that people online are yeah starting to pay more attention to it. And I don't know like what that's eventually going to lead to, opportunity wise and stuff. But where it's at now, like I'm really really happy with it. So yeah, that definitely feels pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know you just said that with the pandemic happening, you were able to like kind of go back to your roots and kind of go back to how you were with a kid and just finding those beats. Is that true?
Yeah, for sure. Because at a certain point, like with my previous project with Klein, as much as I loved doing that, at a certain point it did start to feel like as work, as like how do you say it in English? As like something that I had to do. And I
Like a
had no
job.
other choice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like kind of like that. Um and I guess that was kind of the reason why I was like, okay, fuck it. I've made music for so long, like for fun, and it didn't used to be a job. So why should I see it as a job now? Like when it's still something that I feels like a part of me and like a part of my roots and like my childhood and stuff. And I guess that's the reason why after Klein around 2018, 19, I just started to experiment like so much more than I ever had. And then I was really able to focus on that, to get back to why I make music. And it's basically just an outlet, like something I need. I literally can't breathe if I'm not able to make music. And it definitely also has something to do with my introverted nature, especially when I was younger and not really keen to like express myself too much out in the open or when I'm with people around and stuff. And then with music, it was like really easy to just uh, you know let all my thoughts and like my feelings and stuff pour that into music. It like it always felt very easy for me to express myself through music. And I guess that's I'd like to think that I kind of found that again during the pandemic when there was everyone was like stuck at home and shit. Everyone had to deal with their own stuff, and I think I kind of took that time to just not try to force, growing back into music and stuff, but just trying to have fun with it again. And I think that's what I want to do like for the rest of my life,
Yeah, thank you for
basically.
sharing that with me. That was actually that's really nice. In early November of last year, you said that you had a new project on the way. I was wondering, does that come in the form with of Deal With It, which released January 27th of this year, or is there more to come?
Yeah, so Deal With It is actually the final single. That's just been released like 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And Deal With It is actually the final single before my mixtape drops in like 2 weeks. So that was definitely like my how do you say it? I think when I announced it in November, I had Deal With It in mind as like the final single before the mixtape drops. So yeah, so all my focus, like all my attention, I've been working so effing long like on this project. Like I genuinely struggle like finishing this thing, like doing all the mixing and the mastering. That was insanely uh yeah, like I drove myself to insanity at some point. And like really, really happy. I've been working with this insane 3D visual artist called Nico Zelenik. And he's so like I love his work so much, and I'm like so glad that he's been able to work with me on this project, and like he's created all the visuals. And so yeah, so on the 24th, like all the 3D visuals and like all the music, the whole project will drop at once. And yeah, I'm like so excited about it because this is like my first big project that I've like put my full focus on to make it like as I don't know, yeah, just like my first mixtape album basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so is it going to be like a full album, or is it going to be still tapered to an EP like you have done before?
No, it's gonna be a full album, so it'll be a full like a full set list of 10 songs. And I think one or two interludes, like something like that. So it's all and it'll be like a few transitions in between. A few songs are like connected to each other in some way. But yeah, like it'll be a full album, and every song will have a 3D visualizer to go along with it, and it'll be all on YouTube, and yeah, like everything will be it'll be uh, released as a complete project, like on the 24th of February. Yeah.
Sick. That's really exciting. So going back to your roots now, how do you have this ability to mix and do all the things you did? I know earlier you said that it started from your childhood when you were younger, you were making beats in your bedroom. But I was wondering, with the side project Trey 7000 that you have, did you want to start a DJing career?
Uh, yeah. So when I was in my teens, like around 15, 16 and stuff, like actually my lifelong dream around that time had been to become like a house and techno DJ.
Mhm.
I was like fully into artists like Solwax and Tiga, Boys Noise. Those are like my heroes. And I thought that like house and techno and electronic music was the only thing that ever existed at that time. And then yeah, that was definitely my dream. And then uh, when I was 2021 or something, then suddenly the project with Klein kind of started to become a thing. And then, but then at the exact same time, I got signed to my dream label, which was Turbo Recordings. And I'd signed my project Trace 7000 to Turbo, which was Tiga's label. And that was for sure my my dream for so long, and I couldn't believe it when it actually became true. And but then at the same time, the stuff with clients started to happen, so my attention just started to go like all over the place, and then then eventually like I had to kind of drop Trace 7000 again to be able to focus on Klein, which I don't regret, but it definitely feels weird that the whole house and techno and electronic stuff was my world like for so long, and then suddenly so I switched completely to something else, which which I've loved doing, but I'm not gonna lie, like I'll never be able to get used to the idea of uh switching like that all of a sudden.
Right. So with this house scene, is this really popular over in the Netherlands? I'm not really big into music over in the Europes, or at least in the Northern Europeans. Is that like really big? Is the techno electronic music a really big scene over there?
Yeah, so from what I know from back then, like it's been huge for a pretty long time, I think. I think since 2000, I think for a really long time, like there's been all sorts of subgenres within like house and techno for like ages, but I only know from the time that I grew up in my teens, like the stuff around house, electronic house, and like um that was like I think really, really big in the 2000s and 2010s and stuff. And then um, I think now specifically, I think techno is definitely a way bigger thing, pretty much all over Europe. So like you have these huge techno festivals that I don't know, like 10,000s, maybe even more people just go to those festivals. But I think in Europe, there's all sorts of genres that are still like really huge, and yeah, you just have to look for it. You'll find like any kind of genre, any kind of style uh, that a festival has their focus on, and like a bunch of people will go to those places. But yeah, house and techno is still huge, I think, in whole Europe. Yeah.
So you've talked about these multiple side projects that you had with Trace 7000 and Klein. Do you have any interests in getting back into those side projects? Like we were just talking about with the house scene in the Europes, or the Europeans, you have a very big house scene over there. Are you looking to get back in with Trace 7000 and start something up with there? Or are you really just focusing on what you have now?
I'm definitely fully focused now on this project that I have of my own. So like on Ferdous. That's definitely like my full focus right now, and also like for the near future. Yeah, because sometimes I'll also like try to subtly try to put influences from my house stuff or like from Klein. I'll try and put that into some things in this project as well. So I guess that's why that's why it's the most fun for me, is that I don't really feel like I'm sticking to any specific genre with this project specifically. And then it feels like a lot of fun to try and draw from those older influences from my other projects, or also just from music that I loved in general when I was younger, or whether it's from now. So yeah, I guess I feel really free in that with this project, which is why this project is definitely like, yeah, this it's my life now, basically.
All right, that's really exciting to hear. It's really good to hear that you're able to bring other parts of your like roots kind of and your other aspects of your music into your music that you're making now. That's really good to hear. So since you're constantly working with all this equipment, I was wondering, do you have a favorite piece of equipment that you use? Do you have like that identifies your music, your sound?
I'm definitely focused on the software within reason, because because these since I even started making music, like I've always pretty much stuck to all the uh, stock instruments and plugins within Reason. So I think Reason is definitely like my main thing. I think my sound is fully defined by Reason, but if I would have to choose one piece of equipment that I love using alongside, then it's definitely the Prophet Rev 2. I think it's the most for one of the most versatile synths that you can have, and it's like so powerful. You can make like really powerful bass sounds with it, but also just really beautiful spacey chords and stuff. Like you can go all sorts of places with it, but it's especially nice to have for live shows. Yeah, like the Rev 2 is definitely like the central piece with the live show for sure.
Did you use that on your most popular track, Gravity?
Actually, no, Gravity is fully soft synths, so I created those synths within Reason. But actually, the for my song UI, the constant synth that you keep hearing, like like I did that within the Rev 2. So that's most of the synths in UI are from the Rev 2.
Sweet. That's good to hear. So you've done three festivals last year, two in Germany and then one in the Netherlands, and you're having your first ever headlining show coming up March 30th in Amsterdam. Are you planning on doing a full length tour soon, with this release of the new full album? And are you coming or planning on coming over to the States?
So I'm definitely in talks, trying to see if there's any possibility to book any tours or to find any support slots for sure in the US. But that's also like pretty difficult to organize because it's so far away. And yes, so the first show will be so my first upcoming show will be in Amsterdam for my headline show on March 30th. And then like after that it's pretty hard to say still when exactly I'll be able to play in the States. But dude, like I can't effing wait to to start there because I see a lot of people just commenting like on Instagram or like just saying like to come to their city in the US. I'm like I want it so bad, but I don't know how yet, like I have to organize it in some way. But yeah, like for sure I can't wait. Like hopefully this year, if not, then like next year latest. But yeah, like that's my dream for sure.
So speaking of dreams, if you were to have one artist that you were able to go on tour with, who would it be? Either dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Oh shit. That's a really good question. Um, Damn, that's a really good question. Um, okay, dead or alive. Okay, that makes it even more difficult. But I think
You could give like a few. You could make a list of a few that you would want to go towards.
okay, so I love uh Lil Uzi Vert. If
Okay.
that's like if that would ever be possible, like that would be insane. I love Future, but I don't see how how my how my music could like fit in any way. So I'm already starting to think in limitations. But uh yeah, oh fuck. I mean like a bunch of artists that I really, really love, but when I'm asked on a spot, like I forget every single artist that I love.
So
But
I don't know if you're one, I don't know if you know this, but Westchester, which is where I'm located and where the radio station's at, 91.7 The Curve, we're located in Philadelphia or right outside of
yeah,
Philadelphia. And that's actually
that's
where Little Uzi Vert's from. So
yeah,
if I'm
like,
ever
like
able to get something going with that, I'll definitely plug you. I'll definitely plug you with that.
hook me up.
I will for sure. So I've looked all over for merchandise for you. There's nothing that I can find. Are you planning on doing anything? I know you said you were in talks with a 3D designer. Are you in talks with anybody to get any merchandise going?
I'm literally talking about it right now, like with my manager. Like we're trying to set up something um that hopefully we'd be able to sell like around the summer or like maybe later this year. But I definitely want to do something with the 3D visuals that we did for this project and see if there's any possibility to incorporate that into some sort of merge. But I'm literally in talks with it about it right now. So yeah, like hopefully ASAP. But for sure this year I wanna release something.
And will that be available on your website?
Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna put it out through my website. And yeah, like I guess people will be able to order it over there. But yeah.
All right, sweet. That's all I have for you. Do you have anything else you'd like to say? Anything that I didn't touch on?
Uh, no, no, like just thanks for having me. Like I was like really excited and like I'm just I guess like I just want to say like my mixtape is like coming in like 2 weeks and I'm super excited for that. And yeah, like hopefully like fingers crossed I'll be able to do shows like in the US or just come there just I don't know do smaller things. I don't know. Hopefully I'll be able to get there yeah as soon as possible.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. This means a lot to me. I'm gonna try to get you out, reach out to as many people, get your name out there. But my name is John Moshe. This is Ferdous. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.